ABC Jack here. Welcome to Vinyl Martini. This show I'm going to answer Robert's on my turntables contest question, and that's show a unique artist that doesn't get enough love in the VC. And the artist I chose was Ian Hunter. Now, Robert's got a Saturday morning show. If you haven't, and by the way, if you haven't subscribed to Robert's channel, I advise you to get out there and do that. He's got a great channel full of interesting music. He's got a great manner and a really nice guy. And funnily enough, one of the artists that he featured on his show today was an album that it was the artist that I'm going to feature in this show, and that's Ian Hunter from Mott the Hoople. So I've had this queued up for a couple of days, Robert, so I'm not trying to borrow one of your ideas. But I do have a few more albums than you do of this artist, so I'm sure you'd be interested in seeing it. And I've been a Mott the Hoople fan for a long time. I've got most of their records, all the stuff on Island, their Columbia Records releases. And when I was a very young man, the first show that I actually paid to see a ticket for at Massey Hall, it was a triple bill, and Aerosmith opened the show. Blue Oyster Cult followed them, and Mott the Hoople was headlining the show. And this was right after they released All the Young Dudes. So I've been a fan for a long time, and I've been a fan of Ian's for a while. So why don't I just get to it and start showing some records. The first record that he released on CBS is simply called Ian Hunter, and that is missing from my collection. And I think he released that in 1974. The next album that he released was AllAmerican Alien Boy, 1975 release. No hits from this, no radio hits from this record, but it's very good. He had Chris Stainton on keyboards, Jaco Pastorius on bass, Ainsley Dunbar on drums, David Sanborn on alto sax, Cornell Dupree on guitar, and he's got Queen as backing vocals on here. So an all-star lineup, really underrated record, great record. But the sales of his first two records, that Ian Hunter and All-American Alien Boy, didn't meet up to CBS's expectations, I don't think. So the next record that he sent them the tapes for, they declined to release it in the United States. So this record here, it's called Overnight Angels, was never released in the United States. It was only released in Canada and the UK and Europe. So kind of a unique album in that sense. Earl Slick plays guitar, and Earl Slick used to be David Bowie's guitar player. And Ian's always got this David Bowie connection, because when he was in Mott, they were about to quit the business, actually, or break down the band and go their own separate ways. And they met David Bowie. I think they met him in the Main Man offices, and David played them a couple of songs that he hadn't recorded that he was offering them to record. I forget what the first song was. Pretty popular song for David when he recorded it. But of course, when they heard All the Young Dudes, they decided to give it another shot. David, I think, helped them get a deal with CBS, and they released All the Young Dudes, and they were on their way, kind of establishing themselves again as the great band that they always were. So Overnight Angels, no hits on this record as well, but a solid record, well worth picking up if you run across it. After Overnight Angels, CBS let him go, and he was going to go on to Charisma Records, but I do have a comp that CBS released in 1979, and it's a double album. Two sides are Mott the Hoople releases. Some of them are singles that have never been released before, some live versions, but the other two sides are from Ian Hunter and Overnight Angels, and they are singles, they are live versions, and for the Overnight Angels cuts on side 4. It's the first time that they were released in the United States. So this is a fantastic compilation. I see it in the bins once in a while. I spent $15 for this, which is a lot of money for me. I don't normally buy records for that much money, but well worth it. His first record for Charisma after he left CBS was You're Never Alone with a Schizophrenic. His big hit, I think. It's worth noting that he's working with Mick Ronson on this, another David Bowie connection, produced by Mick and Ian. And let me see, we got Mick Ronson on guitar, Roy Bittan on keyboards, Roy from the E Street Band, Max Weinberg on drums, again from the E Street Band, Gary Talent from playing bass from the E Street Band, and John Cale plays keyboards on this. Big hit on this record is Bastard, which is the song that really grabbed me on this one. But Just Another Night on there. Wild East is a great song, and his most famous song on this is Cleveland Rocks, which ended up being the theme song for the Drew Carey Show. They never used Ian's version on it. I think they got a band called the United States of America did that, but I'm sure that he really welcomed the publishing from that television series Long Run. So You're Never Alone with a Schizophrenic on Charisma Records. This is a great record. It's called Welcome to the Club. It's a live album from 1980. Oh, by the way, this was a 1979 release, I believe. Yeah, 1979. 1980, they released this live record. Some fantastic songs on here. Once Bitten, Twice Shy. Angeline from the Mott album, The Brain Caper Kids, I think. I think that was the title of that record. It does a version of Laugh at Me, Sonny Bono's Laugh at Me. All the way from Memphis, I Wish I Was Your Mother, Just Another Night, Cleveland Rocks, Standing in My Light, Bastard, Walking with the Mountain, Rock and Roll Queen, All the Young Dudes, Slaughter on 10th Avenue, that's Mick Ronson's song. Actually, he didn't write it, but he recorded it. A version of We Gotta Get Out of Here, Silver Needles, Man of War, Sons and Daughters. Fantastic live record. I think this cost me like $5. Fantastic. If you see this, it's well worth it. It's almost like a greatest hits compilation. If that's the only Ian Hunter record you get, or you want to get, this will do you. Next up is a 1981, another Chrysalis album. It's called Short Back and Sides. No hits on here, I don't think. Central Park West, Lisa Likes Rock and Roll, I Need Your Love, Old Records Never Die, Noises, Rain, Gun Control, Theater of the Absurd, Leave Me Alone, Keep on Burning. Again, produced by Mick Ronson and Ian Hunter. This is a $5 record, maybe an $8 record any day of the week. You can find it in the bargain bins all over the place. Again, well worth getting. And the last one is All of the Good Ones Are Taken. This is a 1983 release. I don't see the lineup on here. I don't know if I have the inner. I do. Inner sleeve. Excuse me. So Mark Clark, Robbie Alter, Tommy Mandel, Hilly Michaels, Clarence Clemens plays on here, Dan Hartman, Jeff Bova. Most of the artists, most of the session players here, I don't recognize, but well worth picking up. And this is the last Ian Hunter record I have. I think subsequent releases were on CD, and by that point, I had stopped buying music, and so there's a big gap in my Ian Hunter collection. But I'm always looking for new Hunter records, and they're usually cheap and well worth picking up. Very interesting artist, very unique vocal styling. He's always got this great piano happening behind there, great chord structure. So, Ian Hunter, there you go. Before I push the button and slip away, I want to thank my new subscribers. Last video I did, I was at about 146 subscribers. I'm up to about 155. So if you like this video and you want to see more, why don't you just give me why don't you hit the subscribe button, give me a like, and we'll see you next time. There you go, Robert. There's my contest entry. See you later.